Upon completing high school, Naomi found herself facing a daunting reality, a lack of support that cast a shadow over her aspirations for further education. It was a stark departure from the life she had always known. Having been born into a wealthy family in her early years, she lacked nothing and excelled academically, earning straight A's. This excellence in her studies fueled her father's dreams of one day passing down his companies and estates to her. Her mother, a reserved figure, made appearances solely during functions and special occasions, leaving little information about her. Naomi's future once appeared bright, as her father, a successful businessman, hoped she would follow in his footsteps. Their bond was unparalleled, so much so that her mother often joked about the closeness between father and daughter, playfully remarking that they were like a couple. Her father never went anywhere without her, ensuring she was always by his side and showering her with gifts upon his return home. The envy of her friends, Naomi lived a life of privilege. She never experienced the disappointment of wanting something and not receiving it, always chauffeured around rather than taking public transportation. For some reason, her father felt more comfortable confiding in her than in her mother, fostering a deep attachment between them. Speculation arose within the community regarding her mother's occasional outbursts and complaints about her husband's evident love toward their daughter. People assumed it was due to Naomi being the only daughter, fearing that without her father's guidance, she might end up with an unsavory suitor, bringing disgrace to the family name. Contrary to assumptions of pride and boastfulness, Naomi surprised those who encountered her with her humility and profound respect for people from all walks of life, regardless of age or background. Despite her affluent upbringing, she displayed an unconventional compassion by offering gifts to children on the street during shopping trips with her father. She empathized with their struggles under the scorching sun for meager sums of money. Her benevolence extended to school, where she paid the fees of classmates who couldn't afford them and organized extra classes for friends facing academic challenges. It was no wonder her friends wished to trade lives with her, as Naomi seemed to possess everything: wealth, beauty, intelligence, compassion, and love. After completing high school, Naomi eagerly anticipated her father's arrival to pick her up, emphasizing her desire for him to come personally rather than sending a driver. However, as the hours passed, her father's absence became more conspicuous. She attempted to reach him by phone, but his line was unexpectedly unavailable, mirroring her mother's unresponsiveness. Frustrated and upset, Naomi reluctantly embarked on her first ever journey using public transportation, an experience that only deepened her disappointment. Arriving home, she was greeted by an eerie silence. Everyone seemed to be absent, except for the gatekeeper who could only respond her inquiries. Perplexed and worried, she decided to sit outside and contemplate the unsettling situation. The day wore on, and her mother finally returned, hoping to allay Naomi's suspicions by explaining that her father had been caught up in a meeting and would come home the following day or the day after. Naomi, remembering her recent conversation with her father, expressed her doubts. However, her mother simply dismissed it as life's unpredictable nature. Refusing to eat or remove her school uniform, Naomi remained restless in her room throughout the night. As midnight approached, a vehicle arrived. She rushed outside, hoping to find her father inside, but her expectations were shattered. There were family members who just walked past her, inquiring about her well-being before heading straight to her mother's room. Feeling dejected, Naomi retreated to her own room, contemplating the situation. As dawn broke, numerous unfamiliar family members descended upon the house, further fueling her frustration. Summoning her courage, she entered her mother's room, only to be promptly escorted out by a relative. The relative offered her condolences and attempted to console her, revealing the tragic news that her father had passed away. The reality was even worse than her fears. Overwhelmed by the shock, Naomi fainted and had to be rushed to the hospital, where she remained for several days before receiving further counseling from a psychologist. After her discharge, she was accompanied home by some family members, who emphasized the importance of constant support and companionship to aid in her recovery. The loss of her father marked a profound turning point in Naomi's life. At 18 years old, awaiting her exam results, the plans her father had envisioned for her seemed unattainable. She grappled with depression, devastation, frustration, and intense grief. Fortunately, family friends reassured her, promising to fill the void left by her father and ensure she never felt his absence. They pledged to take care of her and her mother, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness that had engulfed her. Not knowing all that talk was just a mere formality and she was about to experience the other side of life. This is the end of part 1.